Good afternoon, YouTubers. As you can see by my stupid hat, I'm going for a bike ride. And the bike in question is this one. It's not mine, I'm riding it for work because there's something wrong with it and I need to find what the fault is. So I thought, what better place to come than Ham Wall. So here I am out at Ham Wall. I'm going to go for a little bike ride and see what we can explore today. It's a beautiful sunny day, so let's go and see what happens. So this is one of the newer hides on the levels, and we're looking roughly northeast. In the distance there, the ridge of hills you can see are the Mendips, and over there you're looking pretty much towards Cheddar Gorge. Glastonbury is back that way. The canal here is what was the old Glastonbury Canal, or the course of, now used as a drainage system, and the path that you can see, that is the course of the Somerset and Dorset Railway from Glastonbury to Burnham, or Highbury, depending on where in history you are. So let's carry on down that way and see where we go. This is quite an important site for bird watching here.
Yeah, it's a really important site for birds here, yeah, all the Somerset levels. The Avalon Marshes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know I've been to see the murmuration of the starlings yonder.
Yeah.
But what I know about twitching or bird watching or whatever, you could write on a postage stamp, still have room left to lick it, sadly.
There's osprey out over on the Noah's Lake.
Is there? Now that's Noah's Hide is to the bridge and left, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. Osprey's out hunting over the water.
Right.
Yeah.
So, excuse my ignorance, an osprey is a big bird of prey.
Right.
Oh.
But they catch fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they dive in the water.
Pescatarians, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well I should go and watch out for one of those then. Right, onwards and upwards. Nice talking to you. Right, so there's a possibility we might see an osprey here today. We're heading that way now. Do excuse me, this is my first time holding a camera and riding a bike. So this is a new skill for Glastonbury Gabriel here on his YouTube channel. Watch this space for ongoing falling off action.
Bob Toogood and Sam Foster remember the day in 1949 when disaster struck the railway between Ashcott and Shapwick.
That morning I heard the train go in. I just finished milking. Used to that time in the morning. And all of a sudden I hear this big clatter, see? And big clatter and banging and whatnot, and I thought something's gone wrong somewhere. I went over to the station a bit later in the day, and I had Uncle working as a signalman over in the station, and I said, what happened up the railway line this morning? There was a train come off the line. He hit the peat trolleys that were crossing over, and that was the only accident I can remember on that railway.
So there you go. What happened was, this bridge here was on the line from the peat factory, which is behind me now, back out onto the moors where the peat was actually mined. And these tracks crossed the Somerset and Dorset line at right angles. It was literally a straight crossing. So you've got the line here coming in, and here you had the line from Glastonbury, which is that way, off to Ashcott and Burnham, which is that way, and the peat line carrying on down here. The peat train was coming across here, and the train was coming from Glastonbury, and it was a foggy morning. The train hit here and ended up down there in the canal. It was so boggy and peaty that they couldn't lift it. They couldn't get a crane in to lift it, so they literally had to cut it up where it sat in the canal and cart it off in pieces. Story is, there's still bits of it down there if you were to go hunting with a metal detector or a magnet. Those magnet fishermen might find something. But there, that is the train crash on the Somerset and Dorset Railway, and the story of how it happened. Now, if we head off down this path, which was again the old peat railway, there are some interesting hides for us to go and look at. So let's see what's down here. So behind me, this is Noah's hide, one of the better known hides on the levels. And this is where apparently the osprey was seen earlier, so we're going to have a look inside and see what's there. Here we are at 70 acres hide. I believe so called because this area out here is about 70 acres. We're just behind Noah's hide where we just were. You can see the first hide we visited over there in the distance, I think, just poking through the trees. And I don't know if you can make it out, but just poking over the trees there is Glastonbury Tor in the distance. I've stopped for a glass of lemonade and a refreshment break somewhere with a view. Have a look. The wetlands out here are very special for bird watchers, and it's a site of scientific interest, I believe. There's just so much here. In a minute we're going to go over there and have a look at the sweet path, but for now I'm going to stop and have a break. We're riding now down the path towards the Sweet Track. I'll tell you more about that when we get there. If you want to pause the video and have a look at this board, it explains about the Sweet Track and how archaeologically important it is. This is one of those sites where you're kind of on the site of, rather than you're going to see anything. So I'll just give you a close up of the map so you can see where we are. And the actual Sweet Track ran behind that chair over there. So let's go and have a look. Now, as I understand, the Sweet Track ran off in this direction, across a field here. As I say, there's nothing to see here. So I've come here to the Avalon Marshes Visitor Centre. which sadly is closed. Never mind, I'll come back when it's open to show you. There's lots here to see, not least of which is they're very keen on experimental archaeology. Experimental archaeology is where people have a go at building things and living the way people lived, to actually try and gain an insight into their archaeology. It could mean setting up an old forge, it could mean building an old building like this. There are many forms it can take. But here, they've started building various dwellings and houses from different periods. You can see there's a Saxon there, with the lovely woods shading on the end. And if you look there, they've got their boat parked in the garden, if you can see that over there. The building here in front is a white building that looks like built by Barrett's yesterday. Is actually a recreation of a Roman dining hall. Maybe we take more inspiration than we think from our forebears when we design buildings. And over there in the distance, the next project is to recreate an Iron Age roundhouse, which is what's happening over there in the distance at the moment. I will come back when all this is open because it's a very interesting site and it does have a great cafe. Sadly, that too is closed. Let's move on. And so, with a gratuitous shot of a bunch of starlings, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff. Bye!